Lately, I have been wrestling with a strange and uncomfortable feeling. I have noticed that my confidence when taking photos in public is directly tied to the perceived value of the camera in my hands. If I am holding something that looks substantial, expensive, or professional, I feel a sense of legitimacy. I stand a little taller. I feel the right to take up space. But when I'm holding a smaller, older, or more humble-looking camera, I feel a flicker of self-consciousness, like I need to justify my presence. And I realize this has nothing to do with photography and everything to do with ego. If you have been following this channel, you know I like to curate my selection of cameras. Most of them are what I consider the most effective costs to have cameras. I have tried the Canon G12, the Canon G1X, the Olympus EP3, the Olympus EM5, the Lumix GX1, the Fujifilm X-E1, the Fujifilm X-Q1, the holy grail of pocket cameras, the Fujifilm X70, the mighty Pentax K1, and the very fun Nikon 1V1. I have enjoyed them all for their unique qualities, but I have observed a clear pattern in myself when I'm using a celebrated flagship-like camera like the Fujifilm X70 or the Pentax K1. I feel a surge of confidence. It is as if the camera itself is my credential. It silently announces to the world, and more importantly to myself, that I am serious, that I belong here. And this, of course, is a trap. It is a form of imposter syndrome in reverse. Instead of feeling like a fraud despite my skills, I'm borrowing a sense of validity from a tool. I'm outsourcing my confidence to an object. The logic is completely backwards. The camera does not make the photographer makes the camera. The worth of an image is determined by the eye and the heart behind the viewfinder, not by the retail price or the prestige of the gear. So why does this happen? I think it is a mix of internal and external pressures. Internally, there is a deep-seated desire for validation. A professional-looking camera can feel like a shield against the judgment we imagine from others. Externally, we live in a culture that often equates bigger, newer, and more expensive with better and more legitimate. We have been conditioned to read visual cues, and a large DSLR or a sleek, modern, mirrorless body sends a specific socially understood signal that a compact point-and-shoot from 10 years ago does not. This creates a ridiculous conflict. The very pursuit of photography, which is about seeing and connecting with the world, becomes hindered by a preoccupation with how I'm being seen. I become an actor playing the part of the photographer rather than simply a person who is photographing. The tool stops being a means of expression and becomes a piece of a costume. I should not be thinking about any of this. I should just take photos and not care about anything else. The solution, I know, is not to buy a more expensive camera. It is to dismantle the faulty connection in my mind between the gear and my permission to create. It is to remember that the most iconic images in history were made with what we would now consider primitive, simple, or humble equipment. Their power comes from vision, not from specs. It is to walk out with my most unassuming camera, the one that draws no attention, and to practice the quiet rebellion of caring more about the lights on a stranger's face than the weight of the object in my hands. The goal is to make the camera disappear completely, so that all that remains is the act of seeing. And that is a confidence that no piece of gear can ever provide. What do you think? Well, I'll see you guys in the next video. Au revoir.